Okay, we're live. Welcome back. This is the first official English community call for Spark of 2026. It's been an interesting year so far. It's just starting to take shape, and I think it's obviously quite a interesting path ahead of us for 2026. We've got a lot to talk about today. We've recently published the financials, which will be the primary focus of the call. And of course, we've got the contributing team with me on today's call. I'm just going to make sure that we are live across the various different platforms, and then we can get into the nuts and bolts of everything. Sam, Monet, Santi, you're all there?
Yep.
How's it going, Sam?
Going pretty good, Phil. How are you?
It's Friday. Although, does that make a difference in our lives? I think not to a degree. But doing very well, thank you. Excited for these calls to start taking shape. Just a reminder also to the community that we've got the Chinese community call that is set for next week, Friday. More details on that will be published, so keep an eye on the official channels. I'm just going to make sure that this is live also on Discord. Monet, you're also there, right? And Santi, all good?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. 1 second. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So let's kick things off. We've got the contributing team, the Phoenix Labs contributing team that's working on, or the main dev behind Spark. And today we are joined by Sam, the CEO and co-founder. Of course, myself, who heads up marketing. We've got Monet, and then also Santi, I think is suffering a little bit of jet lag, but that is the problem of global travel. So you're going to get no sympathy from us today, Santi, but welcome everyone to the call. And of course, an extended warm welcome to the community for dialing in for today's community call. We can get stuck into things. Okay, so just a snapshot on some key wins that we managed to achieve over the last month. Of course, remember these community calls is very much a snapshot view on current performance. The teams do not speculate or mention things that are in the pipeline or in the works. So just to make sure that everyone understands what we go through on these calls, and obviously these type of calls are going to start shaping into very much a performance review of the protocol itself. Just to highlight a few key wins, of course, the Anchorage tri-party announcement that went out a few weeks ago. We can dedicate a little bit of time on just the opening comments here from Sam to talk about, because we go into a bit of detail on the other factors here. But the offboarding of assets, we've got a new delegate in the governance side of things. And of course, we recently published an in-depth financial quarterly report, which obviously was well received. A lot of detail that goes into it. And of course, Santi and the teams are responsible for pulling this all together and presenting it to the foregrounds. And then we've got obviously the SEEP 09 proposal, and that was all about the SPK buybacks. But we do go into a lot of detail on these other components. But Sam, just kicking things off, do you want to give us a little bit a snapshot view of what the Anchorage collaboration looked like, and of course highlight any significance on that collaboration with the Anchorage team, Anchorage Digital?
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Phil. So the Anchorage integration, I'm quite excited about that was achieved this past month. Historically, Spark has been more in the DeFi native space for lending. Spark's always focused on lending in many different forms. But so we have had deployments into institutionally focused lending before through products like Maple. But Anchorage represents a more direct ability to issue loans still against crypto collateral, mainly Bitcoin, to these institutions who may not necessarily feel comfortable yet coming on chain for a variety of reasons. And so with the Anchorage integration, Spark is able to deploy capital into the Anchorage custodian, who then is able to facilitate loans to institutional borrowers. So far, this allocation has quickly ramped up to 150 million deployed. but we expect this to continue ramping up rapidly. We see quite a lot of demand for these types of loans, and one of the nice parts is that these loans are not necessarily in line with the cyclical nature of crypto. During bullish conditions, returns tend to be easy. Now we're in more of bearish conditions, so a mix of RWAs and institutional crypto loans is really helping to continue to generate yield on the balance sheet. So I'm personally very excited about this integration, and I think it's going to be a big one.
Awesome, thanks, Sam. Yeah, it's of course it does take a little bit of understanding of how things are shifting together towards a strategic push, but very much a strategic move nonetheless, and that will start to make a lot more sense to the audience over the next few weeks, which is very exciting stuff. But awesome, thank you, Sam. We're going to move on to the next component of the presentation, which is the core growth metrics. Santi, I'm going to hand it to you on this slide. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, sure. So the financial report that we presented on Q4, we also did it for Q3. We are, we really think that we really believe in transparency. We really believe in showing all the numbers to the best we can. Everything's on chain, everything's public, but on chain analytics and data can be super hard to comprehend. And we're super happy that we're providing standardized quarterly report. We have done it on Q3, we have done it in Q4, and we expect that to continue moving forward. That way, readers can understand how the protocol is doing, how much money we're earning in each of the verticals, how that evolves over time. So yeah, we're super excited to provide that transparency to whoever wants to read that, be stakeholders or simply people with curiosity. So yeah, feel free to deep dive on the quarterly report. Leave us your comments on X, on Discord, and wherever you want to reach us. Happy to take feedback on that. So during Q4, I want to start with the distribution. Spark operates as a distribution agent for Sky. We essentially distribute USDS to various users, and we get compensated for that. So Q4 saw amazing growth in this regard. We are up 168% compared to the previous quarter, Q3. We managed to distribute over 2 billion in USDS, which is exciting, and we managed to monetize 4.47 million during this Q4, which is on par with the Spark liquidity layer, whose returns are slightly down due to bearish conditions that I need not remind people on this call. The price action of all these different crypto assets that essentially drive on-chain yield. Part of the reason why institutional lending is exciting in these conditions. It allows us to get risk-adjusted returns and not have to get suboptimal yields where they are. For Q4, the Spark liquidity layer had 2.82 billion on average deployment. It managed to get over 40 million, 40.48 million in gross returns, which netted 4.95 million in net SLL revenue. So overall, the treasury balance grew to 43.22 million, which is very helpful for us because we needed to use it as risk-required capital. This enables us to pull money from Sky and grow our balance sheet. So it's very good that we have a healthy treasury that is increasing. Overall, the protocol generated 45.4 million. That translated to 6.57 million in net protocol surplus. That's the actual money that's left after cost of capital, operational expenses, and all the other things that are needed to run Spark's operations.
Cool. Thank you very much, Santi. Anything else you would like to highlight in the financials, or should we move forward?
No, yeah, I think the financials make a good job on covering the different verticals. Like, we're just showcasing distribution and the Spark liquidity layer. But as many people know, Spark also has Sparkland, which it's its own money market. which has several billions in size in TVL. That's also a revenue driver, albeit it's not as big as distribution or DSLL returns. We also have curator fees. We're a pretty large curator in the space. But we decided to not showcase that here. But Spark does have a bunch of different revenue sources. It's just that these two are taking the spotlight today.
Yeah, understood. Perfect. Thank you very much, Santi. I know that obviously the conditions itself you work within are obviously dynamic, and the teams have done a phenomenal job, in my opinion, in making sure that the protocol is healthy. And of course, things look very, very strong for 2026. So great job on that front. Of course, we're aspiring to set new standards of transparency and delivery when it comes to these sort of things. And the quarterly report is definitely one of those benchmarks that we believe in the industry is going to be, it's obviously set and it's going to resonate with a lot of people, especially when we are moving towards a more of a regulated institutional environment, which is important for us to obviously adhere to. So let's move on to the next slide. Monet, you still there? You with us?
Yes. Yep. With you.
Cool. Welcome, Monet. I'm going to hand it to you.
All right. Yeah, I think I'll take over for the next couple slides here. So, first thing that we wanted to highlight from governance in the past month is some actions to offboard various assets and markets that are not highly used and not really driving significant revenue to Spark protocol. So first up, we are beginning a deprecation process for TBTC, EasyETH, and RSETH from Sparkland on Ethereum. This won't impact like existing user positions. So if you have a loan using those assets as collateral, it's not going to be liquidated immediately, but it does prevent any new positions being opened with those assets. And then similarly with the Gnosis chain Sparkland instance, we've seen that the total revenue it's generating is not very high. Hasn't really achieved a significant user base. So we're also beginning the deprecation process there. And similarly, it's going to prevent new deposits and borrow positions being opened, just to slowly kind of wind down those markets. And we view this as a benefit to Spark because any integration, it increases sort of the risk surface of different low likelihood things that could go wrong and result in Spark losing money. So these actions are going to reduce those risk factors to Spark without really significantly impacting the amount of revenue and growth that we have. We, I think all these assets and Gnosis chain as well, we are generally happy with them. We think they're all good projects, and it's just a matter of not being able to generate enough revenue to justify it. But maybe at some point in the future they'll be back. Just for now, we're slimming down the portfolio a little bit to make sure that Spark is got the best sort of risk adjusted market stance as possible.
Perfect. Should we move on to the next slide?
Yes, please.
Cool.
So this is another new and exciting detail from governance. So previously we had two recognized delegates onboarded, Remy and Neonode. We have in the past month onboarded a third delegate, the Moon, who actually I've already seen has gotten up to about 80 million SBK of voting power behind them. So it's the delegate race is heating up, so to speak. It's pretty well distributed across the three delegates. The standard procedure for these is that the delegates are pseudo-anonymous, so they're not like sharing their identity just for kind of security and safety purposes, but they will share periodic vote reasoning and kind of what their approach is to being a Spark delegate, which you can see either on the Spark forum or on potentially on the snapshot page for the delegate. So we'd recommend, if you have SBK, if you're a Spark staker, you do get a little bit of a points boost for delegating. So just hop on over to spark.fi and delegate to one of the delegates. I think it's generally good if the voting power is pretty well distributed. So if you're not sure who to delegate for, you can look at who has the least voting power and just kind of throw it behind them. But yeah, I think we're excited to have a third delegate. It makes governance more decentralized, more resilient. And yeah, for now, I think this is probably the number of delegates we'll have for the near future, but might consider including some more recognized delegates later in the future.
Perfect. Let's move on.
Yes, please. And one more, and in my humble opinion, maybe one of the more exciting things from governance last month, we had a Spark artifact edit proposal number 9, which adjusted the sub-DAO proxy management sort of policies and parameters. The results, just to kind of distill it down, is the buyback program, the proxy management program, basically it targets a specific amount of USDS that we keep in the treasury for covering operating expenses and covering risk required capital that we need to pull a credit line from Sky. And then when we have more than that target amount, we use the excess proceeds to buy back the SBK token. This proposal, we've identified that basically the existing parameters were more conservative than we needed. So we can lower the target treasury value that we retain and speed up the pace of buybacks when we exceed that target. So long story short, this proposal would, on balance, speed up when we can begin doing SPK buybacks and speed up the pace of the buybacks once we reach that threshold. So yeah, it's very exciting news. I think based on our recent financial results, and if we keep seeing those go into the future, it's very well possible we could start buybacks, in the near future, in the next month or two. None of that's guaranteed, of course. It really depends on market conditions, but everything is looking very promising, and we think it's important that there's a clear sort of value accrual, and the SBK token should be connected to the Spark protocol. That's important to us. So excited to get this proposal out the door.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Monet. Let's go on. Okay, cool. So just the general topics that we've gathered from the community. Of course, there should be no surprise behind this, but of course, a lot of chatter and expectation around the buyback proposals that were passed, and Monet has just gone through that now in detail. So keep an eye on that. And of course, just remember, and to reiterate what Monet talked about in terms of future speculation, we do not make mention or refer to anything that might happen in the future. We do not have crystal balls, and we do not know what market conditions might look like. So it is best to just take a look at the current status quo on a substantial basis when it comes to all protocol decision making. Then we've also got, of course, we're in largely for the industry itself. Market conditions have not been fantastic. Depends, of course, your perspective on things, but it's always important to zoom out. But there's been a lot of chatter and expectation around that. Of course, we do not make mention on market conditions, but it is something that is important, especially when we talk about optimizing revenue streams and stuff. So a lot of chatter around that. And then, of course, the SPK emission reduction, which was the decision that was made recently by the Sky team. And of course, that has obviously an effect on the overall tokenomics of things. So it's a lot of chatter around that, excitement. Take a look at that further. From a community events point of view, of course, we're in January, so there were nothing of major significance that happened in December itself. The team took a little bit of time off, but moving forward, we've got a very busy Q1 ahead of us. The teams are, and I think this is also why Santi's got a little bit of jet lag in the background there, but the teams are in mad planning right now for Consensus Hong Kong. We're all fly over there to Hong Kong next week. We've got some very exciting things that's happening at Consensus Hong Kong. So if you are at Consensus, please look us up. We will be presenting on the 11th of February at 1 o'clock on the spotlight stage, and Sam will be giving a keynote followed by a panel. And the panel is being moderated by a significant headline name, a journalist. We will be releasing more information on that hopefully today at some point. I think we're just crossing the T's, dotting the I's, as they say. But yeah, things are looking very good on that front. And we are, we're going to be in Hong Kong. And then following that, busy off to, Digital Asset Summit in New York. So look out for that. We're going to be there from the 24th to the 26th of March. So very exciting Q1 and plenty of things happening behind the scenes. So yeah, that's it from the community point of view. Of course, we always leave it open for the room to ask any Q&As. We did not. We got a few questions on our socials and stuff, but it was a lot of requirement or requests around future speculation, which I think again we need to iterate. We do not talk about future conditions. We will always only look at the current status quo. So yeah, that's it from our side. These calls, of course, are being set up for the next 6 months or so. We've got the next one scheduled for the 27th. That is of course, the English community call, and a reminder that the Chinese community call will be taking place on Friday next week. So watch out for official updates and information on that. Again, it will be streamed across Discord and X. And I think something also to mention, if you're on LinkedIn, we've recently launched the Spark LinkedIn official page. So give us a follow on that front. And of course, we'll be looking to integrate a lot more content on that front from a LinkedIn perspective. So yeah, interesting times for crypto Twitter and what that looks like, moving forward from a marketing point of view. But yeah, so I think closing thoughts. Sam, you're still with us. Monet, Santi, I think Sam, just some closing thoughts from your side.
Yeah, sure. Thanks everybody for joining. I think I've been through a few of these cycles, and never have I seen the fundamentals of crypto so obviously finding product market fit. And so I think stable coins and institutional adoption is really going to be driving things from a fundamentals perspective. So maybe the market is a little bit bleak right now, but I'm maybe it's a bit cliche, but I'm more bullish than ever on the space. So excited to see what comes.
Couldn't agree with you more, Sam. Monet, Santi?
Keep eyes out. We're going to be delivering some amazing stuff in Q1 and half one of the year. So just keep looking out. Expect us.
Expect us. Yeah, we're not just about to land. We've landed, and I think where Spark is obviously positioned for 26 as things take shape on a macro level. It's very exciting. So yeah, it's going to be fantastic. Santi, any final thoughts from you? I know that you're suffering a little bit there, but thank you very much for joining the call. Any final thoughts from you?
Yeah, thank you for the kindness. Jet lag is pretty nasty. Final thoughts. Yeah, I'm very looking forward to scaling up the allocations for 2026, finding risk-adjusted returns wherever they are, be it through institutional lending, be it on chain. We just want to deliver the safest and best returns to users. So really looking forward to that, and just pushing on with our transparency ethos and letting everybody know what's going on, translating the blockchain transactions into readable documents.
Yeah, that's remains to be a challenge, but we're getting there. I think from a comms point of view, we definitely tidied up a lot and made things a little bit more accessible. Okay, thank you guys for obviously joining the call, and for those who have dialed in. Of course, this is recorded, and we will be resharing it on the socials. So keep an eye out if you did miss that. But thank you for joining the call, and look forward to, of course, the Chinese call that's going to take place next week, and then the following. And then hopefully, if anyone's in Hong Kong over consensus, come find us. We'd love a chat. The full team complement is going to be there. So definitely look out for us, and we're always open for a conversation about potential collaboration that could happen in the space. So thank you guys. Have a wonderful weekend, And yeah, look forward to what lies ahead.
Thanks, Phil. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Phil.